Rewrite after rewrite after rewrite is the traditional way Disney makes their animated films. Since Disney has a lot of creative minds working on their films and are always trying to make a major blockbuster, you can understand why they change plot points and characters during production. Still, you can't help but wonder what these films would be like if they went with some of their original ideas. We're going to take a look at some of your favorite Disney films throughout the years and the changes that were made before their releases. It makes you wonder what changes they are making to the Frozen sequel as of right now. What do you think would be a great plot for an Olaf spin-off film? Maybe he opens a beach resort. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to Screen Rant, and even join our notification squad. Here is Screen Rant's list of 10 Disney stories that you will never see in movies. Before we start, can you guess this movie from these emojis? Stick to the end for the answer.
Hey, no kiss bye-bye for daddy?
You kiss me tomorrow, I'll bite your face off.
Zootopia. Zootopia went through many changes before becoming the film that won the Best Animated Feature Film Oscar for 2017. When the story was originally pitched, it centered around a male rabbit by the name of Jack Savage that leaves the animal-run city of Zootopia to explore the South Seas. The film had a darker tone, and ultimately Pixar scrapped the idea, but they loved the idea of a city that is run by animals. They even changed the main character from the rabbit Jack Savage to Nick Wilde, with Judy Hopps as his sidekick, but they ultimately decided on Judy as the main character, since she was more relatable to audiences.
They just can't get my nose right.
Tangled. The first drafts of the movie Tangled were a lot more princess and a lot less Flynn Rider, but after the release of 2009's The Princess and the Frog, Disney had second thoughts. Despite the 2009 film receiving critical acclaim, the film only grossed $270 million worldwide, which the studios blamed the emphasis on the princess, and they felt they isolated boys from going to the theater. So they added more scenes with Flynn Rider with Tangled, and even changed the traditional story name from Rapunzel to Tangled. Despite criticism for their reasoning, the film was a box office success.
Hi, where are you from? What's your name?
Aladdin.
Aladdin. Jeffrey Katzenberg is currently the CEO of DreamWorks Animation, but is known for his tenure as a chairman of Walt Disney Studios from 1984 to 1994. He's responsible for their hit films Beauty and the Beast, The Little Mermaid, and of course, Aladdin. He knows how to tell a story and helped shape all of these films. When working on Aladdin, he removed an important character to the original story. The orphan Aladdin originally had a mother, but Katzenberg knew she was going to stall the story and had her removed. Maybe that's why the genie transforms into so many different characters, including women.
Don't tell me. We're about to go over a huge waterfall.
Yep,
Sharp rocks at the bottom?
most likely.
Bring it on.
The Emperor's New Groove. The Emperor's New Groove is a Disney film that is loved by grown-ups and kids alike because of its offbeat comedy and quick wit. You'd be surprised to know that the film was almost completely different. It was originally going to be a version of The Prince and the Pauper set in the Incan Age, and Kuzco was going to be a supporting character. It was planned to be more along the lines of a musical romance on the level of The Little Mermaid. Maybe Kuzco was supposed to have fins instead of llama legs and belt out a few songs.
Well, how do you do, Miko?
Pocahontas. Miko the raccoon, who was Pocahontas' friend and a pain in the neck to John Smith, was designed by supervising animator Nick Ranieri. But the beloved character was not the first choice he prepared for 1995's Pocahontas. He originally had the idea of a turkey as a sidekick and named him Redfeather. They even wrote Redfeather into the script, but because they wrote his character inappropriate and talkative, they removed him and added the mute Miko. The tone of Pocahontas is serious, and the character of Redfeather would have distracted from the serious tone. The Little Mermaid. In the original ending of The Little Mermaid, Prince Eric isn't that tough of a guy. He's bullied into marrying Ursula instead of being put under a spell, and when she tries to kill him, she is normal size, not in giant form like the final film. This made Eric look weak and not the hero that a prince should be. The changes of this final scene were made because Jeffrey Katzenberg watched the film Die Hard and felt the ending of The Little Mermaid wasn't as strong as the Bruce Willis action film. The Lion King. Or maybe we should say some of the titles they had in mind before deciding on The Lion King, including The King of the Kalahari, The King of the Beasts, and lastly, The King of the Jungle. That's not all of the changes they made, though. Originally, the story was about a battle between lions and baboons, where Scar was a baboon and Rafiki was a cheetah. For some reason, we don't feel Scar would be as scary as a baboon, but then again, with Jeremy Irons' voice, he could make a meerkat scary.
You found it! You found the diamond!
The Rescuers. The Rescuers is the first Disney animated film to receive a theatrical sequel. The sequel was 1990's The Rescuers Down Under, so it's only fitting that the original Rescuers was almost a sequel. Well, sort of. When production started for The Rescuers, the villain was going to be the famous 101 Dalmatians villain, Cruella de Vil. The studio decided against this because it felt too much like a sequel. This is why Madame Medusa looks so much like Cruella de Vil.
What's a kiss?
Oh, well, I'll show you.
Peter Pan. Peter Pan is a character created by Scottish novelist and playwright J.M. Barrie. And if Barrie knew what Walt Disney had in mind for his animated film of Peter Pan, he might not have been happy. Walt wanted the movie to be about Peter kidnapping Wendy to be a mother to him and the Lost Boys. Talk about a dark, scary plot that makes those evil mermaids seem like a walk in the park. Another idea Walt had was having the story told through the eyes of Nana the dog, but ultimately decided to leave the dog at home because to tell the story that way would have been a little too rough. Maybe we should have cut that out like Walt did.
And you're alive?
Yeah, I think so.
Frozen. It's common knowledge that Queen Elsa was originally going to play a villain in Disney's 2013's hit film Frozen, and if you don't know this, you need to watch more of our videos. What's not as commonly known is that the film had another star in mind for the voice of Elsa, which would have been bad news for star Idina Menzel. Elsa's physical appearance was originally drawn like Bette Midler and was going to be voiced by Will and Grace's Megan Mullally. Mullally is a great actress and has a strong singing voice that has been in numerous Broadway shows, but we're glad the studio went with